Good morning, good morning. Welcome to another episode of Barefoot Fixing Things in Paradise. So this morning we are looking at doing a bit of service, and obviously while we're here we have to find the right workshop. So what we've done, I should probably tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a bit of lower gearbox service on the Yamaha 15 on our one, but we're also going to be doing, got my buddy Carl over here assisting me. Here's Carl. You're going to see a bit of Carl in a moment. Carl's also got his, he's also got a high fill, a bit bigger than ours. He's got a 25 Yamaha and a 15 Yamaha. We're also waiting for Jordan, but he also works for a living, so we gotta wait for him. He's gonna bring his dinghy over in a bit. I think it's a Taihatsu or something like that. But we're gonna change the lower oil in the gearboxes on everybody's boats this morning. So obviously we're gonna take precaution. We are on a beautiful beach here. We're not gonna spill any oil, but we needed to get the boats into a position where we can actually work on the lower units. So our original plan, I'll show it here. I found a floating log or a plank. So I'd put this one up in the bushes here and we were gonna hang them off of there. But Carl here is a bit of a MacGyver like myself. So he's got a couple of big fenders. So we didn't film this part, we kind of just got on with it and realized we hadn't got the camera out. But we pulled the dinghy up using the fenders up on the beach so that we can work on the lower units. So we'll start with this dinghy first. We'll film how we do it on the bigger high field. Might be a bit more difficult on that one. But anyway, let's change the oil here, see what it's like. I think most of you guys probably remember this one here is less than a year old. It's probably only got about 30 hours on it, but I haven't done the 20-hour service on it yet. So the main part of the 20-hour service, to be honest, is actually the lower oil. So let's bang that out. And then another 3 engines afterwards. So let's crack on in this heat. Probably should have done it in the afternoon and we'd have had some shade here. But anyway, can't say that we're all that perfect or that intelligent.
'Cause I am a barefoot man, barefoot to make my stand. I bare my soles for all the world to see. Yeah. I am a barefoot man, feet planted firmly in the sand. Bare your souls. Come along with me. Lose your shoes, lose your blues. Come along with me.
Alright, so we're going to have to knock this one out a bit quick. The tide's coming up. The next one, I think we're going to have to push the boat further up. But anyway, to do this job here, I hope you can hear me over the waves. Should be alright. They're coming up quicker than I thought. To do this here, we got 2 plugs. This is basically a ventilation plug here on the top and a drain plug on the bottom. So what we'll do is we'll take the ventilation plug out. We'll make sure we're here ready to catch. Most of it will dribble down the skeg and then into the jug here. Unfortunately, Carl cut it without the handle. I don't know why he would do such a thing. So we're going to hold it here to catch the oil, make sure it doesn't go anywhere once we release the lower plug. There's actually not that much oil in here. It's about 1/4 of a quart, I believe. If I remember right, you can read in the instructions. Anyway, let's get this done before the tide gets us. Tide's already after the camera. Smells like it needs changing, but it's actually not too bad. But then again, it's only done 30 hours. What do you reckon, Fox? Do you have a rag there?
Yeah.
Foxy, stop it. I can't play ball, I'm working. Perfect, perfect.
I come prepared.
You do, better than I do. So this is one of the importances of why you always choose a good buddy boat, guys, because they come more prepared than you do. Leave that is completely dry, bone dry, nothing coming out of there anymore. Move this stuff out of the way. Alright, so the next part of this, again, Carl came more prepared than I did. He's got the fitting here which goes on the bottom, so what we can do is we have to hold, I have to hold one part of this here because it needs to twist. We're going to screw this into the lower, which is the drain plug when emptying. Bear with me a second. Squeeze this up, it's got a nice little rubber O-ring on it as well. So there we go. So we're seized up here. We can use the pump on the top. Gear lube recommended for Yamaha is actually Yan lube, but this is identical. I think Carl and I both got identical. This is Carl's bottle, but I've got the same one over there, which is basically an SAE 90 gear lube. This one's Quicksilver. That's what I had ready to replace it as well. Yamaha do have their own, but they probably charge 3 times more. Oh, here we go, we're swimming again. So I'm going to pump this, it's going to pump in from the bottom, and I'm keeping an eye on the top here. If it starts running out the top there, we know we're full. This tide's really starting to get me. There it is. So I've got the very first inkling of a tiny little dribble trying to come out the top. Of course I just knocked both those, or did you move them?
Well, you did.
I knocked them in. So you should always keep your nuts somewhere nice and safe. Carl's going to find my nuts, I dropped my nut.
Well, one of these is magnetic and the other's not. And I don't see which one.
This is the lower one because I remember the rust mark on it.
Okay.
The other one's clear with no rust on it at all, isn't it? If you look at the top of it. Yeah, that was the one that was in the top. So that's the one I want first. You ready? Yep.
Fat fingers.
You have fat ass fingers?
There we go.
So we actually always put the top one in first before we disconnect the bottom because that helps seal up the vacuum. So that when we take this off the bottom, yes, it's still going to drip a little bit, but it's going to slow it down. Fox, this would be a much better video if you weren't barking. Out of the sand. Oh, come on. Perfect. Still need to tighten it up, but my fingers are a bit oily. So there we go. Unit number 1, done. 3 more to go.
actually looks good.
Very black, but it doesn't look creamy. It doesn't look like it. Okay, I'm back. I had to do a quick run. One, the camera got a bit hot in these conditions today, and two, the battery was getting a bit low. So anyway, the oil has now completely drained out of this one. You notice she's a bit of a mess. I think maybe we'll give her a bit of a scrape and a clean up as well. The oil that came out actually had 0 water in. You see the color there? Didn't see too much in the way of lumpiness. She was definitely very, very old. Hasn't been changed for a long time, but that's still a good sign. So it means the seals are still good on this little bad boy. She is a Johnson 15 from 1975. So it's actually only 1 year younger than me, and she's still running. 2-stroke. Great little engine. All right, let's get some new oil in this, give her a clean up and get her back in the water. All right, so Carl's jumping in here to give me a hand, which is fantastic. So we've just done the fill up here. One thing I wanted to notice that was slightly different on the Johnson to the Yamaha, and that was just the fitting of the plug for the oil fill was slightly different. This is more of a standard one, whereas probably the Yamaha ones has to be different, so you have to have a special fitting for it. Anyway, pump that one up. So this is all good to go. Might see if we can find a scraper and see if we can scrape a bit of this crud off the bottom of the dinghy while it's on the beach before we launch her back in. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this week's episode. So that's 3 dinghies, 4 outboards, and they're all up and running as they should be. We've tidied up the beach as well. There's no rubbish left, just that little tool bags to take with us. And we're gonna head back, get some shade. Might go to Carl's boat, who's got air conditioning. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this week's episode. See you next week.